Welcome back to another video where I destroy things, make things worse. What we have here is the other two carbs of the two pairs of the four that had the broken tips from the pilot or slow screws from that viewer. If you recall in the other video, I'll put a card right here so you know what video I'm talking about, and also link it in the description. Successfully removed the broken tips from down deep inside the carb body where those things live. These are the other two. I don't remember the carb numbers on the first two, but the second two are number 4 and number 5. Now number 4 ultimately didn't need any work at all, and I'll explain why in this video, but number 5 sure as hell did. And number 5 didn't work out too well. It is not alive.
Number 5?
Well, this thing is deader than a doornail. It's partially because of the broken tip, and probably more partially because of the stuff that I did and made some really dumb mistakes on this. Now, is it savable? Maybe it is. But ultimately, I am shipping 2 good carbs that are set up for California model bike back to this viewer. So if you watch this video, you'll see how I did it. So we'll see you at the other side. Man, it's a nice day today. I should be out doing yard work, but I hate yard work. I'd rather work on Valkyrie carb bodies.
Sounds like you have mental problems, man.
And that's exactly what we're going to do in this video. One of these 2 carb bodies does not have a broken tip down inside the hole where the fuel screw goes. I'm thinking that the viewer sent me a wrong carb body, or it fixed itself magically. I don't know. Carb number 4 here, you can tell it's carb number 4 too, by the way. I just wanted to tell you this, because you can see this little tang right here. This would be where the other side of that connector bar goes between the banks. Well, number 4 does not have any broken tip in it. I'll show you that in a minute. Number 5, however, does. And there's number 5, most definitely has a broken tip in it. He did an outstanding job cleaning these. I don't even have to put them in the ultrasonic. I'd like to know what he used because they look brand new. And here's number 4, which clearly does not have any broken tip in it. I would assume either it fixed itself magically or he sent me the wrong body. I would think that he sent me the wrong body. I did text him this morning.
It's the correct one. He thinks the tip came out in his ultrasonic and he didn't notice it was cleared.
I'm going to go ahead and get everything set up like I did in the first video off camera. You already saw all that if you watched that video. So we'll be plugging the different holes so we can backfeed the pressure air into the slow, where the slow jet goes. This back part is the same as you saw before if you watched that video, capping off the air jet for the slow circuit. But I made a change to instead of using that big Famunga clamp, I just cut down the little plug, see a little brass plug in there, and then use a regular C-clamp, one of Dad's old bench. So that takes care of those 2 parts. The only part that remains would be, again, those 3 holes inside the bore for the transition, where otherwise we'd be blowing out like, you know what, we got to plug them off, and we use that kind of half-assed setup. That would be the best way to put it in the last video. This tool is designed to go inside. And this is actually a tire patch plug. Instead of what I used the last time was a vice grips clamped down from the outside with a tire tube on a hose that was over the clamps. You can go ahead and just open the butterfly up and stick this sucker in, and it straddles that butterfly, and then you clamp it open and just put light pressure on it. You just adjust the the tension on it with this on the back like you typically would with a pair of vice grips when it feels good. I really haven't played with this at all. A truck coming through here, of course. We'll give it a little bit of torque on it, a little bit more, and we'll try that. So now we'll go ahead and put our fitting in as far as the airline goes. I hope when we're sealed off again, we can adjust this tool here if necessary. No, we don't have a good seal in there, so let's reposition this. And we just blew our plug right out the side because this guy let go. All right, I actually tightened it down that time, so let's see what we got. Not quite. Thought that would work better. Maybe that'll work. Nope. That's a lot better there. Anyway, let me work on this a little bit off camera and see if I can get it to seal up like 99%. This is a work in progress, but let me show you this. In case this thing lets go, because I want to show you the tip if it comes out. Now that's got some pressure in there now. That's a lot of pressure in there right now, and the air compressor just filled up. We'll drop some of that mixture, that 3-in-1 and PB Blaster down in there as well. Looking to see if it would start bubbling, but it ain't yet. See, it wants to come out down inside there. It wants to come out of that other hole in the front. That's the main hole. Those little 3 tiny holes are just behind the butterfly, which is why they're the transition circuit. Penetrant oil down to the front one, and it's kind of compromising this seal here. You can see it kind of aerosol out. But I got a pretty good seal still. We are losing some pressure around there. I think we're just gonna have to keep heating it, see what we can get out of this. Maybe we'll have to use the drill thing too and try to loosen it up like we did on that one in the other video. This one's a stubborn one. Well, we're back to the number 75 drill bit and a pin vise. And this is a pin vise. And we're just gonna try to get that to loosen up a little bit. Very carefully. I gotta make sure I'm in the center here. So I'm gonna do this off camera. I can't get it to have any blow by or anything. It is super stuck in there. I don't think there's any hope that this is gonna come out using the pressure method from behind. It's just not gonna work. This one is in so firmly that there's nothing I can do to overcome the pressure that it has on the aluminum, as far as it must have mushroomed out or something in there. And it may have mushroomed behind it, because what I'm counting on is that it's still got a little bit of a taper left in the shape of that tip. And I can actually get the drill to kind of bite in, where I can actually put some traction on it and pull it a little bit. And it still won't move. And I'm dead center on that thing because I'm using the hole to line it up, you know, because it's a little bit below the hole itself. Number 75 drill bit's way smaller than that aluminum hole as far as the port goes anyway. So chances of me screwing it up are slim to none, as long as I stay centered. And right now the drill is centered pretty good. If I drill straight through this thing, I don't think it's going to help us at all. It might. I'm pretty much through it, and I got a really good purchase on it that time as far as being able to pull it, and it will not move. Maybe we try that with some heat if I can get back down in there. The only other option is we can fixture this sitting upright. I think that the top surface of this little brass plug is parallel with the top surface that the cap go on for the diaphragm, slide diaphragm. And we can get, you know, this is over to the side of the standoff for the enricher. That can be removed too. We could always remove that if we had to. I don't think we would. And then we can just drill this out, get it to so it weakens it, use an easy out and pull that plug out. We could probably reach in with a pick tool or something and knock that piece out. Well, I actually got off with that drill and I started to drill a hole next to it, way off to the side. I don't know how I did that, but it's not punched through anything, so it's just a little divot in there. It shouldn't cause a problem. Now I'm centered back up on the damn hole. Gee, idiot. Well, I completely screwed up. I thought I was in the center of that hole. Look what I did. That is through too. I thought it might be only a divot, but I checked it and it's through. I don't know how in the hell I did that. I kept checking it and looking at it and I didn't even see that. What we're gonna do now, just to see what we can do, I don't know. I feel terrible about it, but the thing was scrap anyway. We're gonna set this up in the mill and drill out that plug. I wonder if we can get close enough to that to patch that hole with some epoxy from the backside, and also get that tip out, which would save this body. That would work fine if we can push a little bit up through that, in fact.
Laugh my ass off.
Total bonehead dumbass move on my part, but I just could not get that thing to budge. But I tell you what, I'm sick to my stomach over this, but I didn't want to make it less useful. I wanted to make it more usable. We got to be less stupid. All right, that should do us. I'm sure I'm just spinning my wheels on this, but I pulled more repairs out of my ass than I can count, so maybe this will be one of them. All right, that's about as center as we're gonna get. I don't know how deep this plug is either, you know? All right, well, we are definitely not through the brass, and we got a good center established, so I don't know, let's pick a size and jam it through and see what happens. This is a number 1 drill bit, which is 228 thou. That's good. Whoa, it'll want to pull you in, you know? I'm gonna go ahead and use the fine feed. Now that that's over. Whoops, you guys okay? Still brass, that's a deep plug. I'm gonna stop there for now. We'll set a 0 and then move this thing around so we can take a look at this thing out here, because I might be able to just get in with a pick tool and get the rest of that out. That's a deep plug. I'm not sure where that goes. You know, it's gotta be something for machining, you know. I think I need to go a little bit more. Okay, I think we took the rest of it. Yeah, I see a teeny bit of aluminum. Whoops. Yeah, so right now we just have a ring around the collar. Okay, as you can see, we got 3 carb bodies in front of us now. And what I'll do first is a little bit of a shell game. And don't look, or you can look, I guess. And then you tell me which one is the blown apart carb as far as damage goes. All right, it's this one here. And it's a little joke. This is pretty much a clue to how I'm going to solve this. So I'm going to shove these guys off to the side for now. Now I'm going to show you what happened, and then I'll tell you why it happened, but it's going to be pretty obvious when I tell you what happened. Number 1, I put that second hole down inside here by accident over to the side, and it went straight through. And once that happened, this carb body was scrapped, because I did verify that. Remember, there is a needle, the tip of a screw still in here. And when everything else plugged up, it started blowing air out through there, because now there's another hole for the air to go. So I said, well, this carb body's pretty scrap. And then you saw in the last clips, I had it set up in the mill like this, and that worked really well for fixturing. I did pick up I got the center of this by eye dead nuts, and I got that brass plug mostly out. Now, a little while ago, I took the Dremel and I got the rest of it out. I wanted to show you the remnants of the brass plug. Now, you can see the width of this, and what I mean by that is how wide it is or tall it is once it's installed, probably about 5 mil. And I just couldn't see that when I was drilling it. And so when I was drilling it, I said, oh, it looks deeper, it looks thicker, I'll go a little bit more, and then I'll go a little bit more, and a little bit more. And then I really scrapped it by blowing right through. So those 3 little holes, there's only remnants of them right now. So the whole objective of drilling that out was to hopefully get in here like with a pick tool and go in from this side and push up and dislodge that, that needle, the tip of it. What I was going to do wouldn't work anyway, because I don't have a direct way to go up inside here. Maybe I could come up with a really thin, stiff type of pick tool modification, try to get it at an angle. And maybe I'll try someday, you know, I'll just keep this around and maybe play with it over time, come up with a way to do it. What I couldn't tell again was how thick that brass plug was. Now you can see that this bore right here is bigger on the outside than the one down inside there. So this is the bigger size that plug goes into. So this is only going to go in so deep. So it would have been really easy to make a new one and push it back in. It will only go so far. We just measure this bore right here. and then machine one up and shove it in and we're good. That's a no bueno, it ain't gonna work, so yeah. So anyway, now you know what happened. Let me tell you why it happened. This is 100% unadulterated carelessness on my part. And I've told you before in videos, I don't hide from my mistakes. And I made some whoppers on this one. I just was not careful enough when I was using that little hand drill. I got a little bit of an excuse where I just couldn't really see it too well, and I thought that the plug was deeper. So the solution lies in the fact that you saw two other carbs over here. It's number 4. This is a good carb. The one I said earlier in the video doesn't have anything in it, and the viewer originally said it did. So this one gets set aside and we'll go back to them. So it leaves these two guys right here. Now these both are number 5 carbs. You can see that they are basically identical. This is an eBay carb, but it's from a non-California model. It has a different number on the back of it, completely different number. But I suspected they are exactly the same, except for the little port on the side, like this one has, that goes to the purge valve for emissions. And I'm pretty sure I'm right on this. If anybody knows if I'm not right, I would appreciate you to sing out in the comments, because I have measured everything between these two carbs, and it measures exactly the same. The enricher jet is the same. You can see the stamping on, or the etching on both of them. I think it's like a 45 or something. The seat for the float's a 2.6 on both of them. So I'm like, well, it's got to be the same carb except for that tube on the side of it. And so that's why the tube from the side of this one, I'm sorry, this one here that I blew apart, is no longer installed. Because I heated it up and took it out, and here it is. So what we're going to do is we are going to fix this. I know it's not very an exciting repair here. By installing this on this non-California model, which will make it, in my opinion, a California model. I already know how to clock this, drill this out a little bit bigger for it, because it is already pre-drilled, or at least pre-cast, the hole where it goes on both sides. Because these carb bodies can be used somewhat universally depending on the application. Alright, so here's the setup. We're just clamped on the parallel faces of the carburetor, the back and the front. Got a couple pieces of aluminum from a pop can to protect it. And we're just squaring it up with the square to the top where the diaphragm goes. I'm centering up with a number 14 drill bit. We're actually going to send this one through first to create a through hole, because I think this is just a cast hole. And that drill bit just fits in the end here. I do not have a reamer for this. This is like 216 thou focus, like 216 thousandths. I cleaned up the end of this port. We'll figure out the right size. Hopefully we won't blow the dimension, but thinking more of an extensive setup would be necessary. Then I'm thinking, you know, why overcomplicate this? I mean, when do I ever do that? We turn it on and we just got ourselves a nice center spot. Perfect. I'm just shoving a piece of tubing in the end here to make sure I don't do something stupid. It's going to use the fine feed in case it wants to grab. Here we go. Perfecto. 216 thou, which is what this is at right now, is 5.5 millimeter. I don't have a 0.1 increment metric drill bit set. I really need to order one. The closest I can come to it right now is number 3 drill bit, which is like 212, 213. Let's try that again. What is going on here? Yeah, the drill bit's screwed up is what it is. It's dulled out or something and started to move the carb body. My other number 3 on the other set is bad too. We're just gonna hit it with a 5.5 and go in a little bit and see how it behaves, because this is just getting out of hand here. My God, complications. That may actually be okay. We'll just run that through and we'll use some JB Weld or something to hold it in, or if it's a firm enough fit, the Loctite 638 will be fine for it, because that stuff's a sleeve retainer. Lord have mercy. All right. Yeah, that'll be just fine with some sleeve retainer. It's a good firm fit. It'll be fine. Get that paint off. Clean up the part. Good enough. And where it points is right here toward this pinhole for where that back plastic cover aligns. So in other words, it's going to be facing like that. Give it a little tappy tap tap. Nice and clean. She's tapped in. Loctite 638. That sucker ain't going anywhere. Let's call that done, for crying out loud, and get this over with. So this is before and that's after. This is the one that will go back to the viewer with the other number 4. I just noticed something pretty interesting, which confirms the direction you clock this. Let me see if I can zoom you up and show you. If you look on that little thing, this is number 4, by the way. This is the one that hasn't been altered by me or destroyed. Do you see that little dot right there? I didn't put that in, so when they do that at Keihin or Honda or whatever, they're putting a dot there to know whoever's assembling these things what direction or what clocking that goes in. And the one we just did on the replacement carb body has exactly the same little dot right there. So that goes to show you that I think that these carbs can be used in both applications based on that. Well, here we are at another video, at the end of another video at least, thankfully, where I screw something up. But as you know, I don't hide my mistakes from you, because remember folks, I goof up so you don't have to. And this one unfortunately was a major goof up. Is it savable? Maybe. I'm thinking about some ways that I can maybe machine some stuff to make this actually a functional carb. If I do, I'll film some of it, put it up on the channel perhaps if it's worth anything. So I hope you got something out of it. Hope you learned something. I sure as hell learned something about these, and I'll take this and put it in the brain vault for future use if necessary. And I hope you do too. So if you would, I would appreciate it very much if you like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, stick around. You see more junk coming up on the channel. And until then, thanks for watching. Don't just repair, restore. Catch you on next video.